for Union-7 on our quest to get the Object 279E. This is a pretty straightforward mission, but it can be pretty tricky because it's a little bit of RNG involved here. We have to damage or destroy 3 internal modules or crew in 3 battles in a row. So 3 the first battle, 3 the second, 3 the third. And if we want to get the secondary done, which I didn't do here, you need to uplift that to 5 per battle. I would highly recommend, if you get 3, don't reset, just complete it and then go back and redo it if you want to do it. Now, the tank that I used here is the Russian Tier 9 tank destroyer, the Object 704. The reason is just it has a massive gun. It's a 152 millimeter gun, and the pen on the HE round is 90 millimeters. So if you hit a soft object, like a Scorpion G, SU-130, the turret off of a wheelie tank, you're just gonna wreck them. It also has great camo, so you can sit in the back, which is nice because there's no pen drop at distance for HE rounds, so you're going to maintain that 90 pen. The gun is a little wild, and if you do get rushed because of your long reload and your slow turn rate, you're going to be in trouble. But I think it's still the best tank to do this particular mission in. Now, because you do have that slow turn rate and a long reload, you want 2 repair kits on this. I wouldn't worry about fire damage because honestly, if you're getting hit, you're probably in the wrong spot or you're in trouble. And you'll actually see that in one of my replays here. And for equipment, should be pretty standard. You don't have to do anything special here. Rammer, camo net, and binocs if you don't have somebody spotting for you. There are some good alternatives to do this in. I did a lot of testing across different tanks to get ready for this mission. I tested the Arty pretty extensively, which is what I would recommend. If you don't have the 704 or even the ISU in that line, recommend doing this in Arty. I did a lot of testing with the Tier 9, easily doable. Tier 10 is probably a little easier just because it has a bigger gun. If you want to do this and be a little more active, you can do it in the Chinese medium tanks. I would recommend doing it in the Tier 9 because they still have decent HE pen, but if you have a reasonable accuracy, you can do this without HE. You can just fire AP at engines. Now, it took me 2 attempts to do this. This is my second attempt in the first match. You're going to see why I chose the 704 here right off the bat. I'm here on Fisherman's Bay, just looking down the what is typically the medium lane, and Scorpion G, 1 shot, 3 modules damaged, mission complete. Now I didn't finish the secondary condition in that battle, so I just didn't even focus on it. Now the second attempt, and this is something that I would recommend, in the second match, I should say, I tried to get side shots on tanks that were crossing this lane. And also because I realized that there was a Conway on the team, I figured he would be on that hill that I'm pointing at right now, and we would just light him up and I would get a free shot on a soft tank. Unfortunately, our team's light tank is doing something other than playing the game, and so he's back there not spotting anything. And so this was just wasted couple of minutes sitting here doing nothing. Once the tank started to push up on the other side, I shifted back to the medium lane to try get some soft shots. Because this tank is a little slow, by the time I got there, there was like 3 tanks already destroyed. So the softer tanks were already dead, but there were still a couple tanks down this lane, so I just kind of hovered here and waited for those tanks to show up. And while I wouldn't recommend firing HE at heavies, you can occasionally get a decent side shot on them, and you can see right there the first module damaged. I wouldn't recommend doing that for Russian heavies in particular, or something like if you came across a mouse, don't even bother firing HE at them. You're better off firing AP and hoping that you pen and hit a modular crew. But this Tiger is going to poke up again, and it's going to give you my second module for this match. And at that point, I really just need to go find one more target. The other side is kind of lit. They're getting a little aggressive, so I decide to shift back to that side. And that tank that I was hoping to get in the beginning, which was the Conway, because it really doesn't have any armor, gives me his side right here, and he's tracked. So that was really it. That was the mission there. Now, on the third match of this, I had what should have been the ideal condition, which is I'm sitting in the back of the 1-2 line on Prokhorovka. And I should just be able to sit here, get the modules as this team rushes up. But as you can see, there's nobody in front of me. Our scout is already dead. The Scorpion is a little forward of me, but he's not really acting as a buffer, so to speak. So as these tanks rush up, it really puts me in jeopardy, particularly as this light tank really runs up. The other thing that made this a little challenging is I don't have 6th Sense on this crew. This crew isn't, I don't even think I have a full perk yet on this crew. So I didn't know if I was spotted or not. But the camo is so good on this tank. The chances that I'm spotted right now are pretty low. In fact, the tank next to me dies, and I still don't think I'm spotted yet. It's not until they really start to push up and I'm forced to fire that they truly spot me. Unfortunately, the first tank to push up is a heavy tank. I'd really rather hit the medium tanks or the lightly armored TDs that are pushing up. But this really puts me in jeopardy because I don't know what's on the other end of this lane, but they don't have a lot of TDs. Luckily, it was just a prot that was shooting at me. I was able to get a shot into a tank and get that second module damaged. Somehow I survived this and lived to complete the mission. So once we cleared this lane here, I decided that the best thing to do was shift over to the hill on the map so I can get side shots on tanks as they were advancing on the hill, which again, side shots are fantastic for this. First shot is a little low, so it hits the tracks. You're going to see that time and time again. At this distance, the 704 isn't 100% accurate, so you're just going to have to deal with those shots because the wild gun. But you can see I picked the lightly armored tank over that IS-3 there because it was almost a guaranteed module damage. But that is Union-7 for Object 279E. Pretty straightforward. I think it's pretty easy to do. It may take a couple attempts because, as I said, it's RNG based. You're not guaranteed to damage modules. Even if you get a full penetration on a tank, I've seen tanks where I've done 900 damage and done 0 module damage to it, which is really strange. So there is an RNG factor here. But focus the soft targets. If you can get side or rear shots, focus that engine area, you'll damage the engine. And if you do light them on fire, you're going to kill some crew along with it. And you may just in one shot get the mission done. Avoid the heavy lines if you can. Wherever those heavies are going to congregate, just go the other way because you're going to have to switch to AP to penetrate those guys, and it really just becomes a question of do you know where the modules are to damage them. And of course, stay hidden if possible with this. If you are using HE, which you should be in this tank for this particular mission, just stay back. You're not losing pen by sitting 200 or 300 meters back, so it's not a big deal. And if you don't have the 704, try Arty. It probably is a little less consistent than the 704, but you can certainly do it in those tanks. So I hope that helps, and I will see you on the next one.